Hello and welcome guys, this is Vandit from Simple Reviews. The Microsoft event was a couple of days ago where we saw the unveiling of the new Surface Studio, and yesterday was the Apple event where we saw the unveiling of the new MacBook Pro, which was incredible. There were quite a few changes and a couple of new additions in the new MacBook Pro, which were very cool, and it left me in awe as I was watching the event. So this is the new MacBook Pro. At first glance, we can see that the new MacBook is much smaller as compared to the previous models. This is because the overall volume of the MacBook has been toned down to quite an extent. It is also the thinnest and lightest MacBook Pro ever released. Both the 13-inch and the 15-inch MacBook Pro look smaller and sleeker than their predecessors. Another change you could see is that the trackpad is now twice the size. Apple said that this is for a whole new range of gestures. If you didn't know, MacBooks allow certain gestures on trackpad which have certain functions. So the increase in sizes, as Apple mentioned, is so that they could accommodate more such gestures. And I think the most prominent and the biggest change or addition on the new MacBook Pro, which even people who do not follow Apple or Mac can still spot it on the new MacBook Pro, which is the new touch bar. So the top line of our keyboards, where there's the function keys, escape keys and all that, the whole line has been replaced by a touch bar. So you no longer get physical buttons on the top, it's all touch integrated. The touch bar responds to taps or gestures. So whatever the system keys which were there earlier, like the volume, the brightness, all of this can be adjusted by a tap or a slide. So that's not all it does. The touch bar does so much more. It adapts to whatever software that you're using. If you open the browser like Safari, you get options for your favorite websites. You can scroll and select the website you want. It gives other options in the browser as well, like opening a new tab, going back and forth. All the options which are usually on the screen is now also on the touchpad, and it's only a tap away. But this surely makes things faster. Not only this, the touch bar keeps suggesting tools, like when you're photo editing, you get predictions while typing like we do on our phones. You can scroll and select among emoticons while chatting. We have playback controls on the touch bar, so we can scroll through a movie if we like, or while listening to music, we can control our music player. And there's so much more it does. You can answer FaceTime calls from the touch bar. It is also integrated with all the applications in the Mac like GarageBand, iMac, etc. So it helps with that as well. We can also customize the touch bar like we do on our phones. We can add and replace icons on the touch bar, which is very cool. There's also a button present on the touchpad for Siri, so you can access Siri by just a tap. Another new thing on the new MacBook Pro is the new Touch ID, which is placed right next to the touch bar. The Touch ID is a fingerprint scanner which lets you log into your Mac with a fingerprint. If there are multiple users in a Mac and one user is already logged in, the other user can just place his finger on the Touch ID and the Mac switches between the accounts. The Touch ID can also be used to confirm payments with Apple Pay, so that's an added bonus. The MacBook Pro has a Retina display which is brighter with a higher contrast ratio and a wider color gamut. And the display is also thinner as compared to the previous generations. Coming to the hardware, as I mentioned earlier, there are two variants for the MacBook as usual, like the 13-inch MacBook Pro and the 15-inch MacBook Pro. I'll leave the specifications on the screen as we go along for both the variants. Apple uses the latest specs, faster processor, faster and improved graphics, faster and efficient storage. So it's much superior to the previous generations in terms of graphics, gaming, video editing, etc. The new MacBook has replaced all the ports on the MacBook with 4 Thunderbolt ports. There's no separate charging slot on the MacBook either. If you want to charge your device, you have to connect the charger to either of the 4 Thunderbolt ports on the MacBook on either side. If you want to use HDMI, VGA or USB, you have to carry adapters for the same and connect them to the Thunderbolt ports. But don't worry, they haven't removed the headphone jack. That's still there. So that was the new MacBook Pro. I have to say that I'm impressed. The touch bar seems too good to be true. It's very innovative. Other than that, Apple uses the latest specs, so it's certainly faster and sleeker than any of the previous Macs. The Touch ID is a good add too. Logging in with the fingerprint is much faster than actually typing your password, and cooler too. Replacing all the ports with the Thunderbolt ports seems like a bad idea because you have to carry adapters with you wherever you go. I can't even access a USB flash drive if I don't carry an adapter with me, so I don't really like it. But I like the fact that we can charge the MacBook from any of the 4 Thunderbolt ports, so on either side, so that's cool. Again, I can't stress enough how much I like the new touch bar. It's my favorite addition in the new MacBook Pro. It's going to make things faster to say the least, and I can see myself getting used to it, getting used to using it. Anyhow, that was all for now. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. You can tweet me your questions at Simple Reviews. Also leave a comment and let me know your thoughts on the new MacBook, also the touch bar especially. Also subscribe to Simple Reviews to get instant access to all my latest videos, and I'll see you guys next time.